Flags put up high in honor of all of the heroes who served. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Christina DeRobertis. Welcome to our news at 6. Our top story tonight, a look at how veterans were honored along the coast today.
Stars and stripes blowing in the wind for our veterans here on Delmarva and across the nation. Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappe is live in Millsboro. Kevin, ceremonies were held across the peninsula.
Maddie, we are right outside the American Legion Post 28 in Millsboro. And for over 4 decades, people have gathered here to pay respects and make sure veterans are never forgotten.
On Tuesday, people took the time to remember our veterans. And Floyd Asbell, better known as Butch, was one of the many veterans at the ceremony in Ocean Pines. Butch enlisted in the U.S. Coast Guard in 1975 in Salisbury, served for 20 years and 7 months, and is now taking the time to pay respects to all the other veterans.
To me, it's a time of remembrance of those that are still serving and those that have gone before us.
At 11 a.m., ceremony started in Ocean Pines and Millsboro. Each one had songs, dedicated speakers, patriotism, and people who came together to pay their respects, something veterans Asbell and Bob Coffin are thankful for.
Extremely important.
Can never be forgotten.
Yeah, even those still serving today.
And I got a granddaughter just went in the Navy.
Rick Lovkin is a veteran who shared stories at the Millsboro ceremony about the loss of his cousin in the Vietnam War, a loss that inspired him to serve and to honor those who did the same. He also presented a slideshow of images from Vietnam, including a photo of himself when he was just 20 years old.
When you look at a veteran, you're only looking at just a visual of that person. You don't know what they've done or, what they haven't done.
Today was for the veterans, for the heroes that made it home, as well as remembering the ones that never came back.
Veterans say one way you could help is to check in on those who served and to make sure to never forget the lives that were lost for our freedom. I'm Kevin Zappe, live in Millsboro, Coast TV News.
Veterans Day was honored at the Lewis Rehoboth Rotary's Flags for Heroes event at Cape Henlopen High School. Veterans were recognized, as well as the core idea of service above self. The Cape Henlopen JROTC Color Guard and Chorale helped, as well as multiple speakers. I was honored to MC, and our own Paul Williams was the keynote speaker.
At the Rehoboth Beach Bandstand, community members gathered to honor heroes, remembering what they did for our country. In the city's annual Veterans Day ceremony brought together veterans, families, and city leaders. And for many, the day is a reminder that service does not end when the uniform comes off.
Veterans Day to me is a day to honor all the veterans who have served our country. Many veterans from many wars have served and sacrificed for this country.
There was a moment of silence today, music to honor veterans and wreaths laid to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice, symbolizing that freedom comes at a cost. And this does bring us into our Coast TV poll tonight. We're asking, how are you honoring veterans today?
Let's take a look at the updated results. 77% say spending with a veteran, 5% say donating to causes, 9% say visiting a memorial, 9% say attending a ceremony. I say all of the above is a great choice.
I think that's a good idea, Maddie. Thank you. And you can still vote in our Coast TV poll. Just go to coasttv.com or use our mobile app, and we'll have updated results at 11.
Well, here's a live look outside into a bitterly cold Ocean City. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams has a first look at our forecast.
I remember one of my old mentors used to love to start off his forecast when it's cold. He'd say, "Shiver me timbers." Well, I think this is a shiver me timbers type of a situation for today. It was that kind of cold this morning. It's going to be close to that kind of cold for the next 2 to 3 mornings. We're at 42 degrees right now in Rehoboth. We're going to drop into the 30s rather quickly with mostly clear skies and dropping down as low as 37 degrees as early as 10 o'clock for this evening. And we're seeing the dip in the temperatures continuing. As low as we were yesterday, we're dipping even further than that with at least 3 to up to 3 degrees cooler from there. And then we're so clear right here that without the cloud cover, it's like jumping into a cold house without a blanket. We have no clouds to keep us warm. So that, along with the air conditioner blowing at about 45 miles per hour, so to speak, because we have a gale wind warning in effect for all the beach areas. So you combine temperatures in the 30s with a 30 to 40 mile per hour wind, it makes for an exceedingly uncomfortable night tonight. Because if anybody's stuck outside, it's going to be a dangerous situation as far as the wind chills are concerned.
Thank you, Paul. If you are driving down Route 1 in Lewis, fines from these speed cameras, they go into effect today. Coast TV News reporter Emma Aiken joins us live in Lewis. Emma, DelDOT says the cameras are to slow traffic in a work zone.
Christina, we're driving down Route 1 in the work zone near Minos-Conaway Road. Take a look outside here. The speed limit is 50 miles per hour, but the camera starts snapping any drivers going 11 miles per hour over the speed limit or more. And you may have already seen this camera. It's been up for the past few weeks to give drivers a buffer, but the fines, they start today. There's new eyes on the road. It's this camera. And starting Tuesday, it's active. Any drivers going south on Route 1 in the Lewis work zone area will be fined for speeding. The speed limit in the work zone is 50 miles per hour, and fines start for any drivers going 61 or over. That'll cost you $20 plus an additional $1 for each mile per hour over, plus some extra fees in the state's code. And for repeat offenders, it's even more. For example, according to DelDOT, if you're going 15 miles per hour over the speed limit, the total fine is $130. Tamis Hoffman says she thinks the cameras will help drivers slow down.
It is good to have lower speeds in construction zones because there's a lot of people working there. But I think it's great to let the public know ahead of time.
But not everyone is on board. Mark Kaiser, who lives right near the cameras, says he's barely witnessed any speeding.
It's just not necessary, and I'm not sure where the money is going to anyway. So
whether you agree or not, the camera's rolling and your speed could soon cost you. And for reference, while we were out here earlier, we saw the camera flash about 20 times just in a half-hour period. And it is important to note, it can only issue civil fines, nothing that will get you points on your driver's license. And DelDOT tells us the camera will only be up during the construction project. Live in Lewis on Route 1, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
Starting Thursday, Delaware's EasyPass website will look different. DMV leaders say it will be easier to use. The site will have monthly toll invoices combining charges into a single bill, toll by plate for all exit ramps for those without EasyPass, and new email and text alerts for account updates and low balances. But to make that switch, the agency says EasyPass online services will be off from 8 p.m. November 13th through 7 a.m. November 18th.
Tomorrow, Delaware Governor Matt Meyer, alongside state health officials and leaders at BB Health in Lewis, will announce details of a $1 billion application submitted by the state of Delaware to the Rural Health Transformation Program. Projects in the application are focused on expanding access to quality care and building up a strong rural health care workforce. That event begins at 11 a.m. in Lewis.
This past weekend, the Delaware Master Naturalist Program began its first phase of invasive plant removal at the 4th Street Preserve in Lewis. They started removing one of the most aggressive non-native species, English ivy, which is impacting the health of native trees and what are called understory plants throughout the preserve. Now, this is important. It's an early step in prepping the sites for native tree and habitat restoration. And we're just getting started.
The UMES women are back at the court tonight looking to get over the 500 mark against Monmouth.
And the cold in the air, well, guess what? It's here to stay at least till we get to the weekend, so you're going to need to stay bundled up.
But first, walking for Alzheimer's awareness and research, how hundreds in Rehoboth raised money to fight the disease. This week's Ties That Bind Us when we're back in just a minute.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
Most of us never realize how lucky we are simply to remember things. Sure, you might forget where you put your keys or your wallet, but somebody that's suffering with Alzheimer's might forget the face of the person that matters most to them. Brandon Ferguson has a report this week about a group trying to do something about that disease. They're raising awareness, raising money, and trying to find a cure.
Community coming together, from the youth to the elderly. Everyone gathered at Grove Park for the Walk for Alzheimer's.
I'm a little bit emotional this morning.
Who all have been touched by this disease. Walkers had 4 flowers to pick from, each one with a different meaning. Blue flowers are for someone living with Alzheimer's or another dementia. Yellow, a person currently supporting or caring for someone with the disease. Purple, those who have lost someone to Alzheimer's. And orange, supporters of the cause to fight against the disease. Before the walk started, a garden ceremony happens where every color is called out and people raise their flower. With 2 special white flowers given to young members of the crowd, the white flowers represent a generation who hopes to have a cure. Stephanie McDonough is on walk 23. She lost both her husband and mother-in-law to Alzheimer's and says just seeing everyone gather fills her heart.
This gives us hope, and it gives us the money to continue the research that someday I have great-grandchildren now. They will not have to fight this disease. It's devastating.
The Rehoboth Beach Walk raised over $159,000 with 444 people walking.
Each day is different. Each day is new challenges.
That was Sonia Brown. Her husband has the disease. Brown is currently his caretaker.
That has been my biggest issue as being an advocate for those who have the disease, is to find resources for caregivers as well as for the person that has the disease.
Like Brown, more than 12 million Americans provide unpaid care for someone with Alzheimer's or another dementia, according to the Alzheimer's Association. It was bittersweet for organizer Ashley Mittelmeyer, whose grandmother lost her battle to the disease.
To have this much awareness is amazing. This is a terrible disease that affects way too many people, especially in our state, let alone the whole country.
As the walk started, young and old walked for a cure and awareness of the disease. Even for those who suffer from this disease and struggle to remember, the next generation now carries this memory and walk for the rest of their lives. For the ties that bind us, I'm Brandon Ferguson.
That chill in the air is not going anywhere soon. Not until we get to, let's say, the weekend, where we have an opportunity to kind of recover and feel some normalcy for a moment, and then temperature's going to tank again right after that. But you got to remember, it is indeed November. Our tunnel and razor camera in Lewis were holding at 42 degrees, dew points at 22, and we're going to drop down to 39 degrees as early as 9 o'clock this evening with mostly clear skies in the immediate Lewis area. We may see a few scattered clouds try to develop by 10 o'clock. Overall, we are in the 40s, but we don't feel like it by any stretch of the imagination. Take a look at this. Keep in mind, we're at 41 in Rehoboth and Long Neck, as well as Millsboro and Dagsboro. 39, by the way, in Willard, 38 Ocean Pines. Then you got to combine that with the situation we have at hand. And that situation is the winds. And we're not talking about just a casual small craft advisory 25-mile-per-hour wind. We're talking about we're under a gale wind warning, at least until 8 o'clock. Now, it's going to be downgraded probably to a small craft advisory, which is still 25-mile-per-hour winds. But still, we're talking about blustery conditions for Slaughter Beach and Broadkill Beach for tonight, as well as Lewis, Rehoboth, all the way down towards Fenwick Island. You got to keep in mind that just a 15-mile-per-hour wind will make 41 feel like 38 or somewhere in there, okay? So when you're talking about a 45-mile-per-hour wind, it's dangerously low with the wind chills out there, because that skin exposure could be a real medical issue for anyone out there in excess of 10 minutes with exposed skin, or even less than that. So we're looking at least 41. But with the winds, I want you to take every 41 you see here and flip it into 31, because that's really what it's going to feel like. That's bare minimum. 28-mile-per-hour wind gust recorded in Ocean City. A 39-mile-per-hour wind gust was recorded Wallops Island. And here's where the winds are right now, because the winds are our breaking weather story for right now. We're looking at a 28-mile-per-hour wind at this hour, Indian River Inlet, which is where it's going to stay blustery for the rest of the night, by the way. 20-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Millsboro. Take a look at our expectations. Now, the part that's ironic about this that you may not catch, I'm going to give you the story behind the story. The model run elevated it to 39 to 37 here. So it actually got warmer with the model run, but with the winds, it's still depressed how it's going to feel to freezing or slightly below it. Along the coast, instead of, let's say, near 40-mile-per-hour winds, going to be near 30-mile-per-hour winds. That's still cold, no matter how you slice that, that pie. So it's definitely sweater weather all over the place. Sweaters, sweats, everything, all of that. That's going to be the case. It's going to feel like 35 on Thursday. It's going to feel like 32 on Friday. So the cold sticks around. Now, the good news is as we go through the forecast period of Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to have clear skies. It's going to be a beautiful looking day, even from Chincoteague up to Assateague, particularly for Wednesday. More sunshine, beautiful sunshine, and then cloud cover will play a role Thursday, Friday. But it's still going to be cold. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We will eventually warm up over the weekend. We'll hit a little bit of a rain on Sunday. Then after that, back to the cellar we go.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studio.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's 11:11, and I wish you would tune in to watch some women's hoops on the Delmarva Sports Network. Right now, you can catch the Hawks of UMES taking on the Hawks from Monmouth. UMES enters the contest on the heels of a win over Cheney last weekend. UMES scored 91 points with 3 players in double figures. Freshman forward Kalia Perry led the way for the Hawks with 15 points on 7 of 9 shooting from the floor and added 13 rebounds for her first career double-double. Freshman Desi Taylor also led the team with 3 made three-pointers, and Element head coach Malika Willis is trying to add to the team this season. On the other side, Monmouth enters the contest 1-1 after a win in their season opener over Chestnut Hill and then falling to Kentucky on the road. Monmouth is led by second-year head coach Kate Wetmore, who led Monmouth to a 16-15 season a year ago, good for 5th in the CAA. Turn your TV to the Delmarva Sports Network if you want to catch all the action. And also, don't forget to look out for the latest on our website in Delaware and Maryland state playoffs for all fall sports as we continue crowning state champions. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night, everyone.
Each and every Friday, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV. We have features, we have cool things to do every weekend and more, and you can sign up for free. Just go to coasttv.com/sign up.
Well, right now we take a look at Milford, where we're going to expect temperatures to stay in the upper 30s and slowly begin to descend. We're going to see increasing cloud cover. Now, freeze warnings have been allowed to expire, but with the gale wind warnings and 45-mile-per-hour winds, it's going to feel like freezing regardless. So keep that in mind as we enjoy mainly clear skies. Marshall Jackson of Lewis, congratulations, you're our umbrella giveaway winner. Now, you can keep up with the latest on what's happening with the cold weather that's affecting you by calling our weather line. Your forecast is just a call away, sponsored by the law offices of Bruckstedt, Mandalis, and Federico. And here's a look at the 10-day forecast exclusively here on Coast TV, and it's going to stay cold.
It looks cold, but not as bad as today.
Yeah, it's kind of like tomato. Still cold.
All right, thank you, Paul. And thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6.
You can always find more news and weather on our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.